Hi everyone, I'm PirateWalnut, I'm a Grandmaster Mercy main. Today we are looking at some Mercy gameplay. If you're wondering why a Mercy main is on Brig. Anyways guys, I'm on Mercy now. Mercy's especially great on Circle Royale because you can get free value without having to peek into long Sightlines. Always make sure to abuse your beam link as Mercy so you can play in safer spots. Here I use GA to get to said safer spots. You should always GA with a purpose and not spam the ability. You never want to give the enemy a free opportunity to make you look like a clown. I'm pocketing Cassidy this match, so my position should predominantly follow him. By playing in this corner, I can help my team when needed, then flick straight back to Cassidy. Unfortunately, Sojourn presses her win button, and my team dies. I could try to escape, but in the end, it's better to die with them to regroup with the team. We aren't able to recontest, so we're forced to hold this straight away. While I am very safe in this position, I need to be stepping up so I can support my team and keep my beam up. To be honest, I don't know why I'm playing so scared here. Like, I could definitely hold the right side room with my Cassidy and still be completely safe. I don't know where the enemy cast is, so I decided to take a safer spot. In retrospect, I don't really need to because he isn't on my screen, but I could have it nonetheless. We get a pick and I push damage shoes hard, making sure to top off Junkrat when needed to help out my Ana. I use the pillars on the right as my main cover to stay safe from enemies while I pocket Cassidy. I almost get punished for slightly stepping away from the pillar, and it goes to show how much you need to value hard cover as Mercy. This is something all Mercy should look to do to stay safe, and once you have that mastered, you can truly survive anything. I cancel GA early once I see the enemy push up to drop the cover, and thankfully I did. There will be times where you're just hitting around a quarter holding damage trees. It's okay, you're being useful, but also take your meds. Our tank is coming back from spawn, so we need a backup before the enemy regroups. I make sure to use the pillars to stay safe, then bunny hop to get to a safe area. By bunny hopping, I'm able to get a lower GA cooldown and get out quicker. My Winston is pushing up and my Cassidy stuck in the corner, so I Valk to support both of them. I make sure to heal Winston as he drops to give Ana time to heal him up. My Cassidy is dead, and without him we are sure to lose the fight because Sojourn will be free to do whatever and simply ult our backline. So I must take a risk and res him. By using Valk's increased movement, I slingshot myself around the corner to avoid the enemy ultimates to get the res on Cass. Once my Cass is up, we start to push our advantage. The fight is still messy, so I need to play safe by using the stairs as cover. Unfortunately, Junk dies and I don't have res. Always make sure to ping the soul when you don't have res, and you can also ping the soul to see if res is possible if res is on cooldown. The enemy is backing us, so I push damage trees to confirm kills. I stay close to the corner so I can stay safe while still being able to beam my team up front. I call the fallback, and if you're comfortable shot calling, this is a perfect thing to call out, especially when your team does not have cooldowns like Bubble. If you don't like using team chat though, using the communication wheel is also viable in conjunction to pinging. I try to twist myself around the corner to res, but D.Va boots me. It happens. I'll be telling my therapist about this event. There are monsters outside the door, so I'm staying in the corner while I damage use Junkrat to kill the D.Va. Any minute now. I make a mistake by not committing to a direction fast enough, which leads to my Cassidy dying. I also make a mistake by not healing Junk through mag grenade. It's okay, I have a TikTok Mercy clip now. Winston is pushing up, so I need to make sure to support him as he does poke damage. I hear the Ana take damage, so I turn around to heal her, which leads to the Winston being alone. While the Winston is a bit overextended, always make sure to communicate with your teammates when you are leaving or out of LOS of them, and this goes for all supports. I have to pop Valk early because of this mistake and play near cover to avoid the Sojourn ult. I make sure to keep my DPS up before I go for this res on Ana because she has nano. I use the last bit of Valk to stall point, then GA to cover before it runs out. Cass is nanoed, so I can push damage trees harder because of the damage reduction nano gives. D.Va tries to put Ana in a nursing home, so I must peel for her until we can unmech her. In general, you should never be staying around doing nothing. Always look for opportunities to get into advantageous spots such as high ground. Because we did not push for a better position, we hold in the straightaway. We don't have ults to hold this position effectively, so we're taking a very bad engagement this fight, which leads us exposed once Winston uses his bubble. I could have positioned better if I played in the right room, but even then, our positioning as a team was very poor. We're forced to stall point, and without any TPS alive, I just have to hope that we get a kill with the Winston. I get walled off, which was a blessing in disguise as I can easily get the res on Kiriko. I start to panic, and looking back, I should have just stayed with the Junkrat, but the nerves got to me and I panicked and shot the point. Even after playing for so long, it happens, and it's okay as it's all part of the learning experience. All of my games are streamed via Twitch, and if you're looking for more content from me, make sure to follow my Twitch down in the description. Coming into this round, we have one swap from Cassidy to Ashe. Ashe is one of Mercy's best pocket targets, but you must make sure to damage boost Dynamite above everything else, or else Ashe loses a lot of value. A damage boost Junkrat just in case he wants to go above the roof. I'll play around this corner to not allow the enemy, notably the Sojourn, to get any free shots on me. As I walk up with my team, I make sure to hug the right wall to keep me safe. I always make sure to have my teammates up front in view when I can, and only go towards them if they are critical. In lower ranks, you may have to fly earlier if your second support is occupied. If so, always look for cover or high ground to create distance from your teammates to keep you safe. Always read the situation if you need to heal people before or after fights. Here I choose to heal Winston instead of giving it to Honest so Winston can go and take space faster, which gives us more cart progress. If we had more time, I would give it all to Honest so she can build Nano. Make sure to flick my beam back to Ashe so I can make sure to not miss Dynamite. Always stopping off my team so they have a better chance of living through Sojourn. I hug the wall during res and make sure to look at my teammates so I can immediately fly back. I focus on keeping people up as I do not have res to bring them back. Once I get Valk, I use it to utilize the chain beams and beam link to stay safe.
No one can stop me.
While we do lose some, I support my Ashe and she's able to pop off when we take the point. I choose not to res Ana as our spawn door is very close and I know I can keep Winston up. I make sure to keep healing until Ana is fully back with us. Once Ana is back, I go back to pocketing Ashe. You should always have someone to go back to, like a Pharah, Cass, or Ashe. If you need guidance, look at the scoreboard and see who is doing well and can pocket effectively. This corner is especially great for Mercy as you have a whole wall of cover as well as the pillar to work with if enemies are fighting on the hill. Do be mindful of anyone that could potentially flank you and position accordingly. I make a mistake beaming Ana into the Ashe, which leads to her dying. Always keep a mental note of your support's cooldowns to help aid in your decision of who to beam. This is just a terrible res. I could have just let us lose the fight or try to help the team, but this res just staggers us. If you are going for risky reses, always assess the things that can stop you from living, as well as what can help you. If you are still unsure, it is always okay to give up a res for your survival.
Payload is moving right along.
Here the Sigma fluxes my Ana and Ashe. Ana's health is too low for me to keep her alive, so I let her die so I can keep Ashe up so I save one rather than none. I have Valk and Sigma doesn't have rocks, so I'm willing to take my chances and do a super jump res. I wait to Valk because Valk makes the hitbox bigger and I need to regen some health. Once I regen some health, I Valk when I'm fully safe too. Because of Mercy's easy kit, you have to get creative sometimes on the way you carry. By knowing what you could get away with, you can shape the game to how you want to play it. And I look away for 1 second, and I don't know what my Winston was thinking diving directly in front of them, but GM games, am I right? I fly out to create distance from D.Va, then fly back into the tunnel so I can regen safely. I should have brought out my pistol. I definitely could have killed this Sojourn, especially since she's kind of just standing still. And we actually probably could have won this fight because I would have been able to res the Junkrat. This wall's going to be my main position, especially since it protects me from a lot of angles and allows me to beam everyone effectively without being too close. I hear Echo flying up on the left, and here's my top 500 way of avoiding her. By acting like she's not there. Most Mercies panic when they see a flanker, which leads them to move more predictably. By giving Echo a false sense of security, I can juke her long enough for my team to kill her. You do need good headphones for this, but just a simple GA cancel can even mess up GM DPS. There's nothing much I have to do, especially with the numbers advantage. All I have to do is just stay safe and then damage just my Cassidy until he hits something. I would go up, but I already have ult, and he should be fine as long as he jumps back, but just to make sure, I ping to tell him to come to us for healing. To be honest, me and Cass should be looking for positioning, but we are prioritizing cart progress, so it isn't as much of a mistake here. During these times of downtime, you should be planning on what ults to use, what ults the enemy has, and what positions you need to take. Especially as Mercy, it is important to know what ults the enemy has so you can position accordingly. The Junkrat is tiring and is about to get dived by Echo, so I Valk in response to the dive. You should always try to find the person that is around the most teammates to put your beam on so you can hit more people with Valk. Before D.Va bomb explodes, I make sure to crouch down to the floor so I'm not inside of the bomb. I should be beaming my Cassidy and D.Va tries to punish and dive Cass. In order to keep him alive now, I must body block some damage for Cassidy. By following Cass's movements and putting myself between D.Va, I create enough time for Cass to demech and kill D.Va. I think that'll be D.Va's 13th reason. I wait for my team to push up before resing Ana, then we can fight as 5. I play very careful as I hug the wall to make sure Sojourn can't one-shot me. I know Ana can't heal them right now, so I fly up to support, but immediately leave when Sojourn ults, because I need to stay alive for Cassidy. I trust that Ana can keep the Winston up, so I follow Cassidy so he can get value on the flank. It goes without saying, but push damage is harder during stall situations. The faster you can kill an enemy, the harder it is for the enemy to overrun you with respawns. You can take this time damage juicing to also think about your life choices, why you decided that Overwatch is the game you chose, if you should call him, or if you should go outside once in a while. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the like button. It shows that you like what I'm doing, and also because I crave validation from people I don't know, so hit the like button, please. Please. I start the round by damage reducing Junkrat. It's always a good habit to damage reduce anyone trying to get some early ult charge. And so you can feel it off your teammates and also get some ult charge, but that's besides the point. I personally like holding this corner as it keeps me safe from the main sightlines, but do make sure to have someone that you can fly out to if they take high ground. With the fire pressuring over the rooftops, I have to quickly rotate then res Junkrat. I need to stick to my cast like glue so he can deal with the pharmacy, so I use this wall as cover. Junkrat is dead at 52, and Ramacho takes control of Bridge, so we must rotate back again. As Mercy, you have to be proactive with your rotations. Being a second late can lead to you dying instantly, and missing out on the chance to recontest. Here I'm focusing on keeping the rest of my team up so we can regroup and fight again before the checkpoint. If Winston dies, then we can't recontest, and if Cass dies, then Pharah can freely put damage into us, so I especially need them alive. My team is back so Winston can test. Pharah is still up, so pocketing Cass is the main thing I need to do to deal with her. My Ana dies, so I need to focus on healing more so we can have a chance at winning the fight. I should have kept beam on Winston to keep him up. Now I have to stall point with Valk. I should have taken a little bit more time to make sure I was resing Winston. However, the pop-up also said I was resing Winston, so I was very confused, and this mistake cost us the fight. I kind of had no choice but to try to pistol my way to victory, but to no avail. I know the enemy has a lot of ults coming into this fight, so I need to be careful, especially against Barrage and Annihilation. Without Sojourn alive, I can play more out in the open to help my team. Honestly, as long as I damage through something, we pretty much win the fight. You gotta love the fights where you just don't have to think about anything and think about nothing. We are running the same comp we ran during our attack, so I don't need to change up my playstyle. A bit nitpicky, but I should have flown to the right to keep beam attached on Ashe. Not that game changing, but always good to recognize. As soon as Ram goes on Ana, I put all my attention to helping her. I don't want to have to fly in to heal Winston if she dies, so I take extra good care of my grandma. I could be playing a tad farther back as I slightly pick the sightline. I don't get punished here, but it's always a good practice to make sure that your hitbox is not peaking when it doesn't need to. I'll play on cart again to make the cart move faster. Once the fight begins, I'll be playing towards the left wall again as it's the safest position for me. As Mercy, your positions will relatively be the same on maps because, well, they work. And the only thing changing it is really just the characters in the match. Always look for characters that are in your games that will change up your positioning and adapt accordingly. Don't overthink it though, we still gotta make our character look easy for Twitter. My Ashe saves me, but I should have started backing up once I started res. I did not need the GA here, and it also puts me in danger of the charge sojourn. If you are in that spot, try to manipulate your hitbox through crouching, strafing, or on Mercy specifically, turning around so they hit your wings rather than your head. We get the checkpoint and the enemy is backing up in order to regroup. I should be pushing up and helping Junk as he's actively trying to put in damage, which could help me get the last bit of Valk for this next fight. I play more towards point in order to reduce the chance of a C9. Once I see that I have people on point, I dash to get the last bit of ult charge for Val. The enemy isn't able to touch because of Winston, so we end the game with a win. Thank you so much for watching. This is a more general Mercy VOD review, so comment down below what topic I should cover in the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe, and until next time, bye bye!